Let go or die. His voice cracked with rage, but she didn't flinch. His fists were tight in her shirt, knuckles white, face inches from hers. She sat still in her wheelchair, eyes steady, lips sealed. Behind him, 3 more boys in red varsity jackets stood frozen, unsure whether to laugh or back away. The girl in blue wasn't supposed to be a threat. She was the quiet one, the weak one, the one who wheeled herself to class while they strutted past, calling her cripple ninja under their breath. They never imagined what was about to happen. Just minutes earlier, it was all laughs. Lunchtime, the courtyard. Typical high school scene, loud, careless, and cruel. Madison Reyes was rolling through like always, her head down, trying to get to the library. One of the jocks nudged another. "Watch this." He stepped into her path, arms wide, pretending to block her. She asked politely to move. He didn't. Instead, he called out, loud enough for everyone around to hear, "Hey, where's your nurse, wheelchair warrior?" The others laughed. Phones came out. Someone started recording, and then it got worse. "You ever stand up and fight or just roll away?" He leaned down, grabbed the front of her shirt, and yanked her forward. That's when the smile died from her face. That's when everything changed. Madison looked up slowly, eyes locked on his. Not angry, not scared. Just still. "Let go," she said quietly. He scoffed. "Or what?" That's when she said it. "Let go, or die." In the span of a second, the energy shifted. He tightened his grip, and that's when she moved. Her hand shot up, caught his wrist in a flash. Before he could blink, she twisted, dropped her weight, and slammed his arm across her chair's armrest. He howled in pain as his balance broke, falling to one knee. Gasps exploded from the crowd. One of the varsity boys rushed in, too late. Madison swept her wheels, pivoted, and used his momentum against him, flipping him over her lap and onto the concrete. 2 down. Phones now recording in stunned silence. The third guy backed up, hands raised. "We were just messing around," he stammered. Madison looked at him without a word. He turned and ran. What they didn't know, what no one had ever asked, was that Madison had been training since she was 5. Her legs may have stopped working after the accident, but her father, a retired martial arts master, had never let that limit her. He adapted every technique, every kata, every block and counter, until her chair became part of the art itself. She wasn't fighting despite her disability, she was fighting with it. She didn't brag, she didn't talk, and that silence made them underestimate her again and again. But this time it cost them. The principal arrived seconds later, teachers, campus security. But by the time anyone got there, it was clear what had happened, and who had started it. She hadn't thrown a punch, she hadn't left her chair. But 3 athletes were on the ground and 100 students were standing in stunned silence. When the principal asked what happened, one student spoke up. They attacked her. Another chimed in. She warned them. The security team reviewed the footage, and what they saw didn't match the narrative they expected. Madison didn't just defend herself, she outclassed them, calm, precise, like she'd been holding back her entire life. What followed was unlike anything that school had seen. Madison's story hit the local news, then national. She became the face of a movement, not because she was disabled, but because she was unstoppable. Self-defense classes started offering wheelchair-based adaptations. Martial arts dojos invited her to speak. Even Olympic trainers reached out to learn her story. But for Madison, none of that mattered as much as what came next. She returned to school the next day as she always did. Head high, backpack slung low, quiet and focused. This time, no one blocked her path, no one called her names, no one laughed. The hallway parted in silence and respect, and one of the boys, his arm in a sling, stood by her locker, waiting. He didn't speak at first, just looked at her with something in his eyes that hadn't been there before. Shame. Then finally he said, "I didn't know." "I'm sorry." Madison looked at him, expression unreadable, and nodded. "Now you do." She didn't need revenge, she didn't need applause, she only needed to be seen for what she always was. Not a victim, not a symbol, but a warrior. So never mistake silence for weakness or wheels for limits. Strength isn't always loud, And sometimes the quietest fighter is the one you should fear the most. Before we end this story, let us know in the comment, where are you watching from? If this story inspired you, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and drop a karma in the comments below.